I'm going to combine my resources this month. So as well as being for TreeonLife, the life coaching, this is also going to go on LinkedIn for under business mechanics, which is why I'm in my Malibu Beach office where the sea doesn't quite line up, but it's still cool. And you can see my logo there on the laptop. I'm joined by my friend Sandra Miller, who is a functional medicine practitioner. Because in June, normally on the Life Coach channel, what I normally do is focus on nutrition and health. And Sandra's undergone quite a bit of a revolution with her husband in health lately, and they seem to be living their best life and kind of cocoon sickeningly like. And I just wanted to kind of find out. We need to find out more. We need to understand what has gone on in Sandra's life. So actually, tell us about that first of all, Sandra. So what has happened? What have you discovered that's kind of brought about this revolution?
Yeah, so I think it was about 4 months ago, maybe a bit more now. Anyway, I was just basically we're doing a big building project here on the house, and I was listening to a few podcasts, really interesting stuff, and on sort of lifestyle medicine. That's the core of it, and it just was conjuring up all these ideas in my mind about where my business should go forward and how my business might go forward in terms of fulfilling my dream, which is to help other people basically. And I was so captivated by this and just thinking, what I should do is run courses somehow for people and coach people with a bit of gentle accountability and coaching, to bring them in with some education so that they can take hold of lifestyle medicine principles to regenerate their health. It's so powerful. I was just so inspired by this. Anyway, it just so happened that at the same time, I became aware of a mentorship program, which is for people with my exact training. And it's the whole package of how to kind of operate on a business side, make your business successful, but also with the tools, like the actual tools of what is it I can offer. So there's a program that's that I've basically bought that is personalized to my business, so I can emphasize my particular expertise and training and everything and bring my flavor to it. But basically it's a done for you package that has helped thousands of other people. And of course, being the good coach that I am, we are all encouraged to go through the program ourselves. So you don't expect somebody to do something that you haven't done yourself. And that was amazing, quite frankly. And it took my health to another level. Like many functional practitioners, we struggle with our own health, we fix our own health, and then we love to help others. So and that's very much been a model for me over the last 20 years. I've gained a lot of healing in those last 20 years, but this definitely took things to another level.
And so this you've turned this into a course now, haven't you? So or it was a course. So it's a 12-week metabolic reset. That's the thing. So you do offer this as a course. So what I'll do right now, because I know in a minute you're going to go on to some health things that people can do, some simple hints and tips that everyone can do, which is great. But what can people expect from that course, though, that if they go on that metabolic reset course with you, what kind of sort of stuff can they expect?
So there are a lot of tools. I have got, I've taken the plunge because of the mentorship. I've taken the plunge with some software whereby people can use that to access my coaching, my accountability, and to offer the education element through it as well. There's an online course delivered through that software, so that people just become a bit more aware of what they're doing and how powerful it is to bring in certain diet and lifestyle habits. So I coach people through a metabolic reset, kind of a hiatus in from the rest of their normal life to find healing, and then very importantly then to become really aware of what works for them on an individual basis. So then to find a kind of a plan for the future, the long-term plan of how do I stay feeling so well. So you know, we get people feeling great usually within the first few days, and then they want to, that's very inspiring. You're like, how do I maintain this? This is great.
So literally in like a few days, people will feel the difference.
Very commonly, people are different, so I wouldn't promise that, but and people's level of detox is different as well. So if you've got a lot of detox to happen, there's a possibility you might feel slightly worse before you get better. But yeah, we are talking days, and like it's like a light goes on, because we're dealing with heart metabolic issues. Like suddenly, you know, things just start working properly like they should. And that's pretty.
And you look at a whole load of things, do you, with people?
Yeah, so in a way, what I'm going to be talking about gives you a bit of a taste of the kinds of things that we talk about. But it's that's just the tip of the iceberg, really. Right.
Okay. So we're going to look at the tip of the iceberg now. But obviously, Sandra, you're really well versed. I've known Sandra for a long time now, everyone, and I can completely vouch that she is the font of knowledge in this area: nutrition, health. What other kind of areas have you've got some? What qualifications do you have? You've kind of done quite.
Well, I started off in research, so that's been really useful. Scientific research. Did a bit of TEFL, so a bit of teaching English along the way. That was very useful. Still use that now.
Helpful for your coaching.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is actually. Yeah. And so I did a diploma in nutritional therapy, which very much deals with that diet side of it. I also did another qualification in functional medicine, which sort of got me more clued up about how to use functional testing, which is a whole repertoire of testing that I have available to me to offer to clients to assess things that they wouldn't otherwise know about, basically.
Cool.
And then, of course, this additional training that I've done, which is, great for helping to actually deliver it and get it into people's hands, as it were. Because people like me, we love our topic. We love talking about all the detail. We love helping people feel better, but we're often not terribly good on the business side of it. So
no, I mean, that's why I did my business MOTs, because same thing, I can give people advice and that, but unless I can do like a thorough analysis of your life and kind of like, I need to look under the car bonnet in all these areas to find out what it's like. And so it's similar for you, really. You need to look over the whole car, and actually to be able to sort of then diagnose what people can do to sort of help. Right, so okay, so we're looking at the tip of the iceberg. So this, Sandra's come up with some 5 hints and tips to help us in general life, just as a good starter. And then obviously talk to Sandra afterwards if you like. You'll be able to find her on LinkedIn under Sandra Miller. Also, her website is www.holistic.health. So that's whole, WHOL listic health.co.uk, and or you can find her on Facebook if you're a friend. Obviously, talk to her there. But yeah, find out, get in touch with her, and she can help you further on this. So let's go in. Let's dive in, like Wim Hof.
Yes.
the icy water. So what are these 5 top tips?
Sure. Right. Well, Damien, I thought very carefully of what to offer when you suggested this, but I think very much central to the core of what I do is keeping things as low cost and as accessible as possible. But I love the value for money that we get from so many diet and lifestyle interventions, that each one is so powerful on its own. And then the synergistic effect, because that's the way biological systems tend to work, when you start adding 1, 2, pulling in more, which is exactly what the 12-week program does, of course, you help to pull in all those things simultaneously. The power of that is just multiplies, and it's fantastic. So I've chosen things that are low cost or free and relatively easy to do. I mean, some, do require some sitting down and thinking, well, how do I actually make that happen in my life? But they are all pretty much achievable. So, and yeah, my aim would be that people start to feel the benefit of what they're doing and don't look back.
Yeah, good. Opening the door. We're opening the door. We are. Exactly. This is like the Matrix, everyone. You're taking the blue pill.
Yeah, it could be. It could. Yeah, it's a bit magical mystery tour at times. But hold on, we will go some maybe wild and wacky places, but the destination is great. So the first one is eat real food, mostly plants, which I'm pretty sure I have stolen off somebody, and unfortunately I can't actually remember who, but it's a great way of just boiling this whole thing down. What does it mean to eat healthily, and what is it, what should we all be vegan, and all of this? Well, I would boil it down to this: eat real food, mostly plants, because we don't need to get all complicated about what are the nasty effects of various additives or processed foods. We'll just endeavor not to eat them. Eat the real food. And then
everyone with common sense knows that there's nasty stuff in these things. Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
So.
And I could bore you silly about what the effects of all those nasty things are, but just eat real food. And then this, as I say, the whole macronutrient, by that I mean your balance of your proteins, your fats, and your carbohydrates. And where are we getting proteins from? Are they animal products, or are they beans and pulses? So all of that is covered by eat real food, mostly plants. And the truth is, when you start cutting out those additives, your body is amazingly clever at telling you what it needs in terms of, nutrients and that balance of animal proteins versus
you do get that, don't you? I think sometimes you just, like, for example, I just know sometimes if I need to eat a burger, and it's not because I'm just like unhealthy, it's because I just need that. I kind of need that thing that's in the burger.
Meat.
Yeah. So just quickly on that, before we move on to the next point, though, just quickly, why mostly plants?
Because you'll get so many nutrients from that. They're so dense in, your vitamins, your minerals, your fiber, your soluble fiber, your insoluble fiber. You'll get, the repertoire of nutrients you'll get is just fantastic. I mean, you can. Some people do go down the carnivore route, but that's a whole sort of other thing. And it would be a therapeutic diet. People do sometimes just eat meat for a while. Okay, that's a thing. And some people do benefit from that, but it's a temporary thing. So we're talking about what is a normal plan for normal life. Okay,
that's great. Right, point 2 then.
Number 2, spend time outdoors first thing in the morning. This is can
we just clarify what first thing in the morning means?
Sure, exactly. Well, first thing, as soon as you're able in the morning, and at a time, don't go out when you've woken up early. That's the thing, because then you'll be setting yourself with a wake up time that's then that time. You want to go out at the time you want to indicate to your body is your wake up time. Ideally, of course, this is going to be something that not everybody is going to be able to do in the optimum way of just stepping outside into a garden if you don't have a garden, but a balcony will do. Even an open window would do. So what we're doing is getting exposure of the sunlight into our eyes at the time that we choose to wake up. This does loads of wonderful things for us. So there's something called the circadian rhythm, which is our internal body clock, so that we have to, your body and your brain needs access to lots of cues about the environment around us, like when we eat and, when we drink and when we get outside into sunlight. All these things help your body know what time of day it is within that 24-hour clock. And it's like there's a timer that sets off when you get outside at that sort of first thing in the morning thing, as close to it as you possibly can. You're setting off a timer. You're helping your body know then a certain number of hours from that, I need to get sleepy to go to bed. But also it sets off your day the right way
So how long do you need to kind of go out for? Or
so yeah, 5 to 30 minutes.
Okay.
So even 5 minutes will be beneficial, and definitely better than just staying indoors. And all those photographers out there will know that even on a cloudy day, it's lux, isn't it? The unit of light. Even just on a cloudy day, you will get actually an enormous amount of light in comparison to being sat indoors. So
okay.
that's really powerful. And you might choose to take that time, to prioritize a bit of journaling, maybe meditation, possibly prayer. That is, I'm telling you, it's an amazing way to start your day. You'll be starting to kick off in the most natural and balanced way possible. The dopamine, the serotonin, all those neurotransmitters we hear about will be impacted very positively. Those balances will be impacted very positively by going outside first thing in the morning. It's a great way to start your day.
So I could like take my cup of tea out and just have a nice little walk around the garden for 5 minutes.
Do it. Yeah, it's fantastic.
And you were saying, just before we move on, that you were saying about kind of like possibly having like a sort of, I don't know, a meditation type routine in the morning.
Yeah,
like
absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, in this day and age, apps are always great, and I do really love, and I do use myself, an app called Soultime, which if you just do those, they have it's only like 4 minutes usually, little meditation, and it's it's not heavily Christian or anything. It does have that principle behind it, but it's quite gentle, shall I say, and a really lovely way to gently start the day. If you want to dive, if that is something, your belief in God is something that's important to you, there's more within Soultime, but just the daily meditations are really quite, not in your face, just very gentle.
I mean, just for a business point of view as well, I know so many business leaders that do that as well. I mean, all the major ones do it. They take time out to to think and meditate, and so it's quite a normal practice, really. Right, number 3.
So number 3, linked to number 2, the other end of the day, what our brains and our eyes want to see is a setting sun, essentially. And a setting sun is red, and it's red because it lacks the blue part of the spectrum. So unfortunately, then what we've done, and this is no judgment, because we all love our devices and we all benefit from them. I've clearly just talked about an app, but the point is, it's pervasive in our culture now to have too much exposure to that blue part of the spectrum, because screens, devices, lights all emit blue, generally speaking. There are ones that don't. So this has really messed then with that body cue, the circadian rhythm. We're basically telling, when we allow blue light into our eyes in the evening, we're basically telling the brain it's time to wake up. We've got a rising sun. Wake up. And it's been absolutely researched, and it's shown to shut off melatonin. Okay. That's your sleep hormone. So great in the morning, shut off melatonin in the morning when you want to wake up, but don't shut it off. You don't want to shut it off when you're heading towards a night of sleep and you want to get some decent quality sleep.
How can I use my mobile phone, Sandra, before I go to bed?
Well, Damien, you can use night mode. Nowadays, Android and iPhone have these facilities to make the screen yellow. In fact, I have mine on all day because I don't want an excess of blue light from devices, but it's not a complete fix. So, for instance, I will show you, there's a company called OcuShield, and I can offer a discount code. So I'll share that with you, Damien, for the video in the end. But for instance, we've got these little glasses. My son wears these to use his computer. So young eyes particularly are even more sensitive to that blue light. And so he can use these to really limit his exposure to what is basically just an unnatural and somewhat damaging exposure to blue light. I've got these, unfortunately, because I wear glasses. I can't wear funky funky blue light blockers, but I do have these clip-ons.
Ah, wow.
If
Okay.
you can see those.
Excellent. That's a good idea.
So yeah. So in the couple of hours before, in the evening before bed, especially, and when he's using a device, I get him to wear those. So we can block the blue light. We can change all the sources of our light, but of course that's a bit more expensive.
Yeah.
There are upcoming, you might have heard of OLEDs, organic LEDs. I think it's a technology that will be coming on. Certain devices have them. I think they will come mainstream availability in terms of our LED lighting that we're now all really used to, but it's right now is hugely expensive and really inaccessible. So the easiest way is to just do something to your eyes so that whatever's coming at them has been modified.
Okay, cool. Good. All right. We're on to number 4.
All right. Getting a little bit wild and wacky now. I'm going to suggest that it's really important that you breathe through your nose as much as possible. And this has been known about for thousands of years, but people keep forgetting, us as a culture.
I'll tell you what's weird, like, I know you just told me a couple of these beforehand, but like I'm not even sure if I'm aware. Have I been breathing through my mouth, or have I been breathing through my nose, like during the day?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's weird.
And do you know what? You have keyed in perfectly with the first level of what you might do about this, which is just raise awareness. You know, what do I do? So for me, really interestingly, I never really thought I was a mouth breather. Certainly at night, you know, I would actually really find it difficult to sleep if I can't breathe through my nose. So I just thought I wasn't a mouth breather. But what I really noticed when I started to, you know, look at this objectively is actually whenever I get a little bit active, so if I'm doing jobs around the house, you know, just on that level, I realized that I would actually start breathing through my mouth. So that's something that I've become aware of and I'm being able to do something about. But mouth breathing at night, of course, is something that a lot of people do very subconsciously, and it's actually a very damaging habit. And the trouble with the
they tend to be people that snore as well, aren't they?
Well, exactly. Right? It's linked to snoring and sleep apnea as well. And the interesting thing about it is that the tissue that lines the nose it like behaves on a use it or lose it principle. Like muscles. So there will be people who are listening thinking, well, I can't breathe, my nose doesn't work like that, I just can't do it. So what I would encourage you is that whatever interventions you can gently start doing to encourage the breathing through the nose, your body will change, the nose tissue will change and get with the program and like, oh right, start regenerating and start facilitating that activity more and more. One way to jumpstart this is with mouth taping.
Right, okay.
Hold with me now, hold with me. Low cost, very easy to do.
Can I just check this is perfectly safe before we go advise this?
I will even demonstrate. I don't mind. I can be a fool for
no one is going to like just suffocate because they just can't breathe.
There's no need. Just look, I can still talk. Okay. I can still breathe if I need to.
Okay.
This is one line down, and nobody's getting claustrophobic from that. But it is a way of just linking to your brain and keying into your brain for that. You know, when you might go to sleep, breathing quite happily through your nose, and then something happens in the night, and you're it helps prevent all that. And it's transformative. There have been studies to show that even things as complex as ADHD have been completely turned around by literally that one thing of mouth breathing at night. So it's that, you know, this is a powerful thing. Your body needs that preconditioning of air through the nose to work properly. And it's really important to actually ultimately prevent overbreathing. Overbreathing is endemic. And it causes anxiety, it causes all kinds of trouble. So I could get
it's a little bit linked to the hyperactive lifestyle that we have, isn't it, really? In that everything is just probably too quick, and therefore we're not taking time to smell the roses. Kind of like,
for sure.
Yeah.
absolutely.
I know quite a few married couples that actually approve of that take method as well. Just going to leave it there. You know you are.
It's best.
Right. And finally, then we've got number 5.
All right, we're diving in now with everything that we've been seeing on BBC with Wim Hof presenting his method of resilience and change in life. I'm just going to put this out there. It's actually worth venturing into the realm of taking cold showers, which the series that was on recently, it's meant for entertainment, so it's quite hardcore, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
actually,
I think they only did like 3 minutes, I think, in the shower to start with, though. When they did the cold shower bit. But
absolutely. So I would heartily recommend. They did really, I think they did proper cold ice cold showers. Of course, you just turn it to cold. It's never going to be that cold. Certainly in Britain, certainly now in the summertime. But I would, this is still something for pretty much anyone. I mean, if you've got a heart condition, check it with your doctor first. But this is very ease into it, which is entirely in line with what Wim Hof himself says. Okay, he says start with just a few seconds, start with a warm shower, and then turn it to cold.
Yeah,
which it's really helpful. I don't know how that is, but it is.
Yeah.
Start warm.
You wouldn't think so.
Turn it to. I know you wouldn't think so. You think, well, I don't know, just go in cold, but it's not. It's much easier to start warm and turn it to cold. He recommends. I mean, you can play around, do whatever you like, but he recommends, for instance, start with 30 seconds for 1 week, to go up to 1 minute for the second week, 1.5 minutes for the third week. By the fourth week, you're doing those 2 minutes, which have been shown repeatedly. So many people have found benefits. So you'll have heard about cold showers, cold baths for athletes because of the way it, combats inflammation. But this is something that's for everybody. I mean, cold therapy has been linked to improved quality of sleep, more focus, improved immune response. I mean, just any one of those things is pretty good. But if we've got them all, and there are so many anecdotal stories of people, autoimmune conditions, for example, just the symptoms of those just falling away. Amazing. And just does
it generally give you more energy throughout the day if you do it, or?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a great way to start the day, of course. And it is just
so even better, if you could set up a cold shower in the garden, you could like knock 2 of your points out in one go.
That's my dream. That's part of my dream. So I want a retreat in Dorset where don't even get me started. I was talking all weekend about that. But anyway, that's for another day. That's for another day. But outdoor showers would be absolutely part of that. But I would really like, with all of these things, what I love to really emphasize to people is, while I might present to you the ultimate goal, 2 minutes of cold shower every day, I always love to emphasize, we can always start from where you're at, okay? We can always start from where you're at and build up gradually. The body adapts, as soon as you start exposing your body to that cold water, we engage in all sorts of activities. Your body, it's like exercise, it gets used to it. It starts ramping up all the mechanisms that lead, ultimately, it can be for you, where you get to the 2 minute mark and you're doing it regularly and you feel great. You want to get into that cold shower because you know how great it makes you feel. And that is there. It's accessible. It's there for pretty much anyone.
Oh dear. I just take me back to memories there. I with some friends, we did Tough Mudder.
Oh yes.
And one of the obstacles there was called the Arctic Enema. You basically had to jump into an ice cold vat and then go underwater to another side of it as well.
Really?
That was very, very amusing. Very amusing.
Gosh.
We didn't feel the benefits that day, but I know, but you do normally. That's fine. Good.
Wow.
Okay, so would you like to sort of, that's all sort of 5 of those points. Would you like to wrap up with anything, just generally what people need to look out for?
So, I mean, I think, you know, when it comes to accountability with all these things, that loads of people are wearing wearables nowadays. So I've got an Oura Ring, but Fitbit, very common. All these devices, if they have a look at whatever you might already be in possession of, and what it says about HRV, heart rate variability, because that's a summation score. It's basically an overall score that gives you a numerical value on how your body's dealing with stress. So for any of these interventions, especially the ones that are linked into sleep, which is, well, pretty much all of them, you can start keying into looking at your sleep stats, you know, your amount of deep sleep, your REM sleep, your HRV, and see what effect these things are having on you. Because I think if anybody can sort of rev themselves up to try something, generally speaking, it's staying with it that's the trouble, right? So if you get that feedback from yourself, if you take time to think, do I actually feel better for that? Well, yes, I do. Is that valuable to me? Well, yes, it is. I had a more productive day. I was more engaged with my family, my friends. Well, that's probably quite good value then, you know. And if you could get some more metrics with a watch or a ring, and actually see and how valuable that is to your body.
So probably like keeping a journal is ideal for that, because then
ideal,
you can, like,
Damien. Yes, absolutely. And if
build a little bit of gratitude in there as well, and then you're like,
yes, exactly, absolutely, all of that. And buddying up, of course, is the other thing. To say, hey, do you want to join me with committing and checking in with each other about any of these lifestyle habits.
Tell me your bowel movements this morning.
If that's your preference, Damien, feel free. If you can find a friend to do that, that's a good friend. That's a good friend.
Good. Well, Sandra, it's been a joy to talk to you today, and people can book a discovery call with you as well.
They can, well, I'll give you the link there. It's all over my website, which you've already mentioned, but there's a direct link to a calendar to book a call.
Cool. And that was Holistic Health. There will be links will be put in the chat box, etc., whatever, the comments later, so people can follow those. But thank you, Sandra, for your time, and do get in touch with Sandra, everyone, because they seem to be going through a revolution here. We need to jump on board this train, I think. So join in. Yeah. Cool. See you later, Sandra.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.